Hello, everyone. My name is David Sisk. I'm the director of the English Learner Programs for Winston-Salem Forsyth County Schools. And in this short video, I'm going to give you an overview of the 2020 Access Score Report distribution and the EL service notification. So please read this information carefully. I've given you some context, some chronology to help you understand the events as to how we got where we are right now. So February and early March, we gave the 2020 access. We actually finished giving the access right before our schools moved to a remote learning environment. And then we continued in that remote learning environment until June, and we're currently under a remote learning environment. So towards the end of June, the State Board of Education amended their policy, letting us know, all school systems, that we were waiving reporting and sharing those results with families for the 1920 school year. So the State Board of Education allowed us some flexibility with not sharing those score reports because we didn't have those score reports. We typically get those score reports in late May, early June. We share them with schools. Schools send them out to families. However, obviously this year that did not happen. This is a very atypical year. And so that requirement was waived by the State Board of Education. And then on September 2nd, all school systems got notification from the North Carolina Testing News Network. And the North Carolina Testing News Network is a location where the North Carolina Department of Public Instruction publishes updates that affect testing in North Carolina. And so the State Board of Education reiterated that now that we are receiving the score reports, we have 30 days to share these access score reports with families. So moving along. Okay, on this section of the document, I'm going to take you through the 2020 access score distribution, the different steps in the process, and some guidance on how to complete this process. So step one, testing coordinators and ESL teachers have access to the Access Management System. It's also known as the AMS. So this is a third-party platform that North Carolina uses to manage access testing. If you're a veteran test coordinator, you're very familiar with the AMS. If you're a veteran ESL teacher also. If you're new to those roles, this will be new to you. So I'm going to give you an overview or a review of how you log in to the WIDA AMS system. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to click on this link, and then that will take you to this page. Okay, so once you click on that link, it takes you to this page, and you can see up at the top, it's wida.wisc.edu/login. And once you get to this page, you're going to look on the right-hand side, you're going to see Login, a drop-down menu, you're going to click here, and you're going to go down to where it says WIDA AMS, and you click here. Login. That is going to take you to the login page. Now, your username, if you don't know your username, will be your email address, the Winston-Salem Forsyth County School System email address. And your password is unique to you. If you cannot remember your password, there's a link here that you can click that will help you get your password. If you do not have access to this, if you don't even have a username, then you can contact either Nora Ann Bennett in the testing office, or you can contact me, David Sisk. So once you get that information, you got your username, your password entered in, you click sign in. And then that will take you to this page. It gives you a welcome screen, welcome to the WIDA Assessment Management System, the AMS. And what you're going to want to do to find those 2020 access reports, you're going to want to go up to the top where it says My Applications, click the drop-down menu. You're going to go to the right-hand side where it says Scoring and Reporting, and you're going to click Report Delivery, because we're going to download these reports electronically. So I'm going to click there. Going to wait for a moment, and then it is going to bring you to this screen. And across the top, you have on-demand reports, online testing stats reports, and test results. You're going to want to click on on-demand reports. So I'm going to click here. Now that's going to give me a search screen. Now your search screen may look a little differently than my search screen because I have district access. However, you should at a minimum have school access to the school or the schools where you are assigned. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill this out, and I'm going to pause this so we don't waste time as I fill this out. Okay, now what I've done, I have selected from administration the North Carolina Access for ELLs, and I've got the 1920 school year. The district should default for you to Winston-Salem Forsyth County. I'm simply selecting Ashley Elementary School because it's the first school on my list, but again, your school will be unique to you. Now, where it says translated reports, that's the only option you have, and just note that the translated reports are in English or additional other languages depending on the languages that parent needs. So I am going to select, we're going to do Spanish. That is my second language. Got Spanish. And then you can choose the grade levels. You can choose by grade level, and I'm going to choose the first graders at Ashley Elementary. Now, it's important to note that if you're looking for an individual student report, you can enter the last name, the first name, and the student's ID number. But if you're simply looking for a grade level of reports, then you can select the grade level and then find those students. I'm going to click Find Students. Now, I've already searched for those students, first grade, Ashley Elementary. And now what I've done is I've narrowed my screen a little bit to protect the identities of those students. But what you're going to see is you're going to see a row with the child's last name, first name, the state student ID, date of birth, and grade, and so on. And so you scroll through and you'll have a long list depending on how big the EL population is at your school. Now, at this point, you have an option. You can either save that document in a PDF format. It will be in your download menu on your computer, or you can click on open the PDF. You can take a look at the PDF, and then you can save it. If you look at the left-hand side of the screen, it's on that side all the way to the end of those rows. You can select multiple students at the same time. But remember, you want to break out these reports so you can distribute them individually to each student and to each family. So it more than likely behooves you to download them individually. It's not a long process. I mean, it's a little tedious, but it works pretty quickly if you have a high processing speed on your computer. And you can just download those reports into your download drive on your PC. Okay, so now what I have done, I have downloaded those reports onto my computer. So I have individual PDF score reports for all of my EL students. And what you see now is a Google Drive, my Google Drive, where I have actually created different folders for different students. I'm going to center this up a little bit. And just to give you just some examples, I created a folder for student A, student B, student C. You can, of course, name these folders whatever you want to name them. But then what you probably want to do, a really good suggestion that we had from a small focus group that we pulled together, one of the suggestions was you could build a Google folder. Remember, using your Winston-Salem Forsyth County Schools Google Drive. It's very important from a security standpoint that you use your Winston-Salem, your WSFCS Google Drive, because that's a secure shell. We're sharing information within the school system's kind of security platform, all of our apps. So I've created some examples here. So student A, I don't have anything in that folder, but what I would do is I would then go to my download documents, drag that score report over for the student into my Google Drive. And this is also a good location where you can share the EL status notification and the EL service notification as well, because then you can share the folder directly with that student's email address. And then we can notify families that if you check your child's WSFCS email address, you will find a notification so you can see your score report. So I just want to give you an example of what this looks like. So again, my drive, Dave's 2020 Access Student Reports, and then I have different folders for each individual child, because that will make it very easy for me to share this information. Now, just briefly, I wanted to mention to you, if you're not aware of how to share this information securely within the Google Drive, I'm going to right-click this. It's going to give me share as an option. I'm going to click here. It's going to bring up this screen that says you can add people and groups. Right now, it's restricted. Nobody has access to this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click here. It's going to open up the sharing link. I'm going to click the drop down beside the word restricted, and then I'm going to open that up to Winston-Salem Forsyth County Schools. Okay, so I've opened it up to anybody with the Winston-Salem Forsyth County Schools email address. But then what you can also do is you can go up here to add people and groups, and you can type in the name of a student with their email address. And there's a couple different ways you can do this. It should find it in here. If it doesn't find it in the Google account, you can go to Outlook and simply copy that child's email address over. Or you may be able to get a list of all of your students' email addresses from somebody at your school. Possibly they have a username login list, but there's a couple different ways you can search for those students' email addresses. But once you have that child's email address, you can enter that information in here to share it directly with that student, and then they receive a notification from Google that somebody has shared this folder with them. Okay, so once you share that information, okay, now I have completely changed our screen, and I've jumped from Google to Canvas. Why did we jump to Canvas? I'm glad you asked that question. This is another method that you can use to potentially share those access results with families. So you see the courses that I have available to me right now. Of course, you're going to have your own courses, but I'm going to use this example to show you how you may want to share that, or another possibility of sharing that score report in Canvas. So I'm going to choose on EL coordinators. Don't judge me, because right now this course has not been developed yet, because we've got so much information coming out right now, and I'm busy putting together these videos and working on all these processes that I have not had time to put all that information in there, but it will live here at some point. So you're familiar with this view. On the left-hand side of your course, you actually have the link for people. I'm going to click on people, and that's going to give you all the people in your class. And you can see I'm the only person enrolled in my class right now, again, because I haven't opened this course up. I don't have any solid content in there right now. But let me open my screen up here a little bit. So you see you have your list of students in your class. And if you go over here to the right-hand side and you click on these three little dots, you're going to see user details. And once you click on user details, you can actually send me a message utilizing this link. So you can go over to, and I think yes, it's actually my picture is covering this up. Let's move myself over here. But if you look to the right of my picture, you can see send message. So you can click here. Of course, this is a secure shell. It works just like email. It's just within the Canvas system. Again, we got to think through the security aspects of this. And as long as we're sharing the score reports within the WSFCS technology umbrella, that security umbrella, then that's perfectly acceptable. But we can't email these directly to families, but here are a couple options of ways that you could do this. So I've opened up this message, this email function within Canvas, and now I've got the course, I've got the name of the person. I'm sending this to myself. And you can put down 2020 access reports. And then you've got a little attachment button down here. You simply click the attachment. It would give you all the options, whatever the folder link is for that attachment. You can choose that child score report, and you can attach it to this Canvas message within that Canvas course. Now, this might not work for everybody, but this is simply another option, another way of doing this if you want to share that information within the Canvas course. And then we simply direct the parents to check the messages from their child's Canvas course. So if you look at the time limit here, you can see I'm coming up on 15 minutes. I've still got a little additional information to share with you. I am limited to 15 minutes with this application, so there's going to be a part 2 coming at you shortly. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in a moment. Bye.